Iceland's moves to ban circumcision triggers protests from Jewish leaders outraged at attack on Judaism. Jewish groups have strongly criticized a move by 5 different groups in the Icelandic parliament to ban circumcision. They have warned the proposed ban would make Iceland one of the only countries in the world to ban one of the most central, if not the most central rite in the Jewish tradition in modern times. Punishment for those convicted of performing the religious practice would be 6 years in prison, media reports say. There are only about 100 Jews in Iceland, The Washington Times recently reported, and they are too weak to speak out for themselves. For infants, the baby will be strapped down to avoid movement. Next, he will have either a topical anesthetic applied to the surface of the penis or have numbing agents injected into the penis or around its base. One of 3 different types of clamps or devices - the Gomka clamp, Mogen clamp or Plastibell device, is used to separate the glands from the foreskin and crush or cut a ring of skin from the penis. The clamps provide for an immediate procedure, while the Plastibell device stays attached for several days before falling off. Usually the baby will feel better within 3 to 4 days, but he can be taken home that same day. Appearance of the area improves within a week. For adults, men can choose between receiving a general or a local anesthetic. A dorsal slit is usually made, a cut from the top of the skin, all the way down to the rounded border at the base of the glands. The foreskin is held away from the penis and carefully cut off. The remaining skin is then sutured around the glands. The entire process takes about 30 minutes, but patients are recommended from staying away from masturbation or intercourse for a few weeks to ensure the penis has completely healed. But others outside of the country who understand the danger of criminalizing religious practices are speaking out on their behalf and on behalf of religious freedom, the paper reported. It is unclear how Iceland's Muslim community, which is far bigger than its Jewish population, has reacted to the proposals. Muslims are still the largest single religious group worldwide to carry out circumcisions. The proposed legislation describing circumcision as a violation of young boys' rights and the only time it should be considered is for health reasons. Addressing religious traditions, it insists the right of the child always exceed the right of the parents to give their children guidance when it comes to religion. Cardinal Richard Marx, president of the Catholic Church in the European Union, called the proposed bill a dangerous attack on religious freedom. The proposal to prohibit circumcision has been put forward by Progressive Party MP Silja Dag Gunnarsdóttir and is backed by several other Icelandic politicians. Circumcising girls has been illegal in Iceland since 2005, but there is no provision for boys, Gunnarsdóttir told Euronews. Most religious leaders, including representatives of the Jewish and Catholic community, have criticized the plans. The Jewish communities in the Nordic countries said if passed the law would stop its brethren from establishing themselves in Iceland. Iceland would be the only country to ban one of the most central, if not the most central rite in the Jewish tradition in modern times, a letter written by the group says. But it would not be the first time in the long tradition of the Jewish people. Throughout history, more than one oppressive regime has tried to suppress our people and eradicate Judaism by prohibiting our religious practices. This letter might be perceived as meddling in Iceland's internal affairs. And why should we care? The reason is that you are about to attack Judaism in a way that concerns Jews all over the world. If any country with next to no Christian inhabitants would ban a central rite in Christianity, like communion for instance, we are certain that the whole Christian world would react as well. The Nordic Jewish community leaders also urged Icelandic lawmakers to follow Norway's 2015 legislation on non-medical circumcision, which introduced regulation while ensuring the custom's legality under certain terms. In Europe, circumcision is under attack from right-wing politicians who view it as a foreign import whose proliferation is often associated mostly with Muslim immigration, The Times of Israel reported. But it is also opposed by left-wing liberals and atheists who denounce it as a primitive form of child abuse.